So we just got here to our new Airbnb, and I haven't made a video. I will, but we've been here for what? This is our third day here.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
third day, and we just figured out that we thought we were in Burhaniye, which is where we took a bus to, but we're looking at a map, and it's sometimes when you get an Airbnb, they list it in like the nearest town that's the known town, but I think we're in Bachile, which is I think where we are. Um, Sorry, I was pronouncing it like the robot voice on Google Translate. But we're gonna head out and just kind of go to the store because today's New Year's Eve. So tonight at 9, I think, starts a 4-day lockdown that goes until it's 5 days, I guess, because it ends on the 4th, and then that ends on the 4th at I guess like 5 in the morning is when the lockdowns end. Like the Sunday ones usually end at 5 on Monday. I don't know. Either way, it's a 5-day lockdown, the 31st to the 4th. We're gonna head out and get some views along the sea and the shops and stuff. But I've been without a wind muff because I had one, but I left it in our storage unit in Maine. So I'm gonna check out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take. I don't know how good it's gonna work, but I'm gonna take a Band-Aid and I'm gonna cut it and I'm gonna put the little Band-Aid portion over my mic because my phone has two. So I'm gonna cut a little strip, and then I'm gonna put the little thing over my mics on my phone, and we'll see how it works out. But also something I want to add, since it is the pandemic, we've got our sanitation there, but you got to get some of this if you're in Turkey. So the Turkish were in the hand sanitation game before this whole pandemic even started, but this stuff's legit because it has it's a sanitizer and it has like a lemon cologne, and it's super like, what were we calling it, the smelly stuff that makes you like a scent,
like effervescent or
yeah,
like
yeah.
aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy, thank you. Yeah, kind of has like an aromatherapy thing. Like every time I rinse my hands with it, I'm just like, oh, it smells so good. But I'm gonna get my little mic cover thing going, and then we're gonna head out, and hopefully it works pretty good because it's been super windy here. All right, so here's my low-tech answer to a wind guard. I got a Band-Aid there and a Band-Aid there. Sorry, it's not focusing very well. But this is actually the phone I shoot all my videos on, if you were curious. It's a Note 9. There's a little bit of the street we're staying on. Just behind us there is our Airbnb. There's those dogs. I'm actually pretty pleased. The dogs are really quiet at our last Airbnb. This particular dog, he would bark all night, all day. We couldn't open the windows. He barked at everything.
It was really sad. He was kind of like chained up in people's yards, and it was a big old German Shepherd.
Yeah, he was kind of neglected. I noticed that like all of the strays and all of the city like neutered and marked dogs, like they didn't bark at anybody. It was always the dogs that were like chained up in people's yards that were neglected, and like people wouldn't take them for walks and stuff. But yeah, so it's really quiet, I guess is what I was getting at. So it's nice to not have to listen to a dog barking all night and all morning. We couldn't even open the windows up to enjoy fresh air because the dogs were just barking. But see, here is just kind of, it's really like a really residential area. There's not really a lot going on here, which is pretty much what we were wanting. We just wanted to come find a nice, relaxed place. I mentioned before, Istanbul is pretty busy and fairly stressful, so to just get out of the city and find a nice quiet area to relax, and the sea's actually just like several hundred meters away. I think it's like a 4-minute walk or something, which we'll head over and show you. So it's really nice to be here. There's this tiny shop here. It's actually just a few minutes walk from our house. We're getting a bunch of supplies right now so that we can be prepared for the 5-day lockdown. But what we were able to get is a bunch of waters here, and we're going to carry these back to our Airbnb, and then about 15 minutes walk in the other direction there is larger shops where we can get actually a bunch of food and stuff. We're going to head back to our Airbnb, drop these off, and then head over to the other shops. Well, I'm not too proud to say I just made a bonehead mistake. After we got the waters back to our apartment, we went back
to the shop because I thought the guy shortchanged me, and I think it was in my head thinking, because we were in Istanbul and everyone tries to like do little scams to scam you. And here's the sea, by the way. So this is actually just up the way from our apartment, and it's a nice beautiful view of the Mediterranean, minus this guy's car who just parked here. So anyway, I took the amount of money that the guy gave me back, and I told him that I'm not sure what this guy's saying, but I took the money back to the guy, and he explained to me that he didn't shortchange me. I actually was just counting the money wrong, and I'm so embarrassed that I did that. But at the same time too, I'm really glad I went back and the guy clarified with me what had happened. And not only that, he was gracious enough to then tell me that he's gonna have his shop closed for like the next 5 days because of the lockdown. So not only was I wrong, he was still nice enough to be like, yeah, but don't come over here for more water for the next few days because I'm going to be closed. So
yeah. He could have been a jerk about it, but
yeah,
he was very, very kind.
And I said in one of my other videos, like, don't ever let anyone tell you that the Turkish people aren't incredibly kind and welcoming. So there's an example of that. Such a beautiful day today, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah, it's windy, but I don't know how my low-tech wind blocker's doing, but there's a little offshoot from all these restaurants. I'll show you back over here. So there's just all these little restaurants and stuff along the coastline that I'm sure usually during the summer and it not being the pandemic are usually fairly busy. But here's a beautiful view of the Aegean Sea here. You can see all the way across to the other side, all the homes along the coastline there. It's very beautiful. The host of our Airbnb was telling us that usually this is a really busy area in the summer, and I can imagine because it has such just a lovely coastline. And he was saying that the walk along the coast goes for like a few miles, I guess. So it's very enjoyable for us right now because there's not very many people here. And I think it was like 65 degrees today. So it's December 31st. It's actually New Year's Eve, and it's 65 degrees. And usually we've had our jackets on. Today we are like, no, let's not do that because we'll end up being all sweaty. So it's very lovely walk that we're taking, trying to get some supplies to get ready for the 5-day lockdown. So we just got to this park here, and something I noticed actually several times since we've been here is that the parks will have a swing that's specifically designated for people who are like paraplegic or wheelchair bound. And I can honestly say I've never seen that in the United States. And I think it's super awesome that the people who are investing funds into these parks are thinking about people with disabilities. And also, I've mentioned several times the pathways with the raised bricks that have texture, so people who are have visual impairments can actually guide their way along. But here's a view of this beautiful park here. It is December, as I was saying, so the grass is a little dead, but I don't think it gets terribly cold here, so that the vegetation doesn't really die off. So it's nice and green still, and quite lovely. There's quite a few people out. I'm surprised there's not more people out because the lockdown does start tonight, and like I was saying, it's New Year's Eve. But I think, too, there's not a huge population here. So everyone's probably already gotten their supplies and they're just maybe at the house relaxing and getting ready for the New Year's celebrations and to stay inside for the next few days. Well, we had to stop for a cookie break. As we were sitting here, I did notice that there's a lot of really nice boats. And behind us, I noticed that there's a lot of really nice several-story homes and some really nice hotels. So I'm thinking this is a bit of a, I won't say ritzy, but maybe there's a little bit more money in this along this beachfront here in this little town. So it's very enjoyable. The infrastructure here is very nice. It's very clean, and the people have been very friendly. We've waved at a couple older women as we've gone along, and even as I was saying, the guy in the store was super understanding, even though it was my bonehead fault. Apparently I don't know how to count, but but that's all right. There's a few stores over here that we're gonna head to. There was a Shock and then like an A1 or something and we're gonna go to the two of them and see what they've got to offer. We were able to find some like kebab meat that's prepackaged that you heat in a pan, so that was a score because we really love kebabs, and all the stores sell like really decent like packaged wraps, so we've been grubbing out on that. But it's really nice some of the different things we've been able to find as we've gone along, as far as things to eat and things to snack on. We did score that cake last night. I'll show this cake if I can remember when we get back. And then also we got a bunch of baklava, which is a traditional Turkish sweet, which is probably better than eating these cookies, because I'm sure, well, I don't know, the baklava is either made with honey or like a sugar syrup, so it depends on what it's made with, I guess. It might just be as sugary as these cookies. So here's a quick view inside of the store before they yell at me for recording. We're actually trying to determine if the store will be open during the 5-day lockdown, because if the store is not going to be open, we need to get like 3 times the supplies we usually would. But if they're going to be open, we'll just get a little bit of supplies and use it as an excuse to come back and forth and be able to stretch our legs. Oh, here's a woman. We're going to ask her. All right, so there's a young woman here, and with the help of translation app and patience on both our parts, we did learn that the store will be open 10 to 5 through the entirety of the lockdown, so we don't need to load up on a bunch of stuff. We can just make a walk over here every other day or something to stretch our legs and to be able to get out. So that was awesome. So thanks to her. Some of these several-story homes here, as I was saying earlier, along this bit of the sea, we were able to get a decent amount of groceries, at least a couple of days worth, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
I'm gonna go back. I've been showing how much food we've gotten and how much it costs. I know it may be repetitive in my videos, but I'm curious to show you guys, is it cheaper here or is it more expensive versus the previous towns and cities that we've been in? So I think it was something like, what did you say it was, 206?
209.
209, which is, I did the math and it was like 26 USD. So we'll go over here and we'll unload back at our unit and show you guys what we got and see whether or not we thought it was a reasonable deal.
That little staircase is cool.
It's a cool little house there. I don't know how well you can see it. My bouncy hand motions.
It just looked like an olive grove.
Yeah, I got a little olive grove.
Awesome.
I was wanting to mention, so we learned a new word, or a new saying anyway. We learned Aegean Sea, which is good afternoon. So we had only known Günaydın, which is good morning, and we also knew İyi akşamlar, which is good night. But today we learned how to say good afternoon, which was İyi günler, right?
Yep.
So it's Günaydın, İyi günler, İyi akşamlar. Good morning, good day, and good night. So that's only now the 3rd language that we know how to say good morning, good day, and good night. English, Spanish, and now Turkish we know. Some more of these really nice houses. This whole little complex actually here looks pretty new. It looks like they share like a courtyard in there. But we're just up here a few blocks. Here's a little pan around. It's like I was saying when we were leaving, it's really like spacious and quiet here. There's a little like dog kennel right here, which is super random. We were walking back from the store last night and it was just super quiet. There's like a dog that was barking at us, but he was just making noise. He wasn't any threat. But look at here, these houses. These must be fairly new builds because they're the construction's really nice. So it's a really nice area. There's a decent amount of money here, it looks like. Even our host was saying that some of those houses by the sea are really expensive. I mean, I don't know what really expensive is, but it's certainly a nice neighborhood. And then just here is the highway that our bus came off of, and this will take you to Izmir and along the coastline just that way to further destinations. There's a lot of old ruins and things along the way, but we're a bit removed from the highway, so there's not really much noise, and it's quite enjoyable. Here's a view of our Airbnb. So we're on the 1st or the 2nd floor there. That's our little window where we have a patio, And then that window there is the window for our living room. And the host, he actually lives down here. It doesn't look like he's home, but we just enter here on the left. And that's our little private entryway. Oh, it looks like little apples or something here. I didn't even notice that till right now. So we'll head up and show you what we got. So here's our score. I did the math, and I'll start with what we got earlier. We got 4 of these bottles of water, right?
4 of them, yeah.
We must have got 2 different types.
I think so, because the bottles look a little different.
Interesting. Anyway, we got 4 bottles of water. Those are 5 liters each, so we got 20 liters total. And then what we got here is, this is the kebab meat I was telling you. You just preheat it in or you heat it up, in a skillet, and then you throw it into a wrap or whatever. So instead of, we don't have the opportunity to go get a kebab from the store, we can just make our own. And then here's a chicken schnitzel, basically a breaded chicken that we've been getting that we really enjoyed. And then we found these. These are like, I don't know what the wrap is, some type of breading, but it's like vegetables. And then these ones were like, I think, what was I saying? It was like some feta cheese and like...
And a curd or something.
Yeah, and some type of veggie.
Cheese of some sort.
Something, yeah. Eggs, instant coffee, tea, honey, razors, bathroom stuff. This was what? Some lotion?
Yeah, that's some lotion. And it was less than $1 is what that converts to. And it's actually really thick and luxurious. I've gotten it before, and I was super happy to find it again.
Nice.
And I think any lotion for under $1 is...
a killer deal.
My mind. Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, that stuff, and then some dairy. We got some cheese. I don't know if I covered the eggs, but the eggs there, the butter, some veggies for salad, some sliced meat so we can make sandwiches, and then these are the lavish wraps that we got for the kebab meat. Sorry, I was filming Rachel weird because this place is such a hazard for me, because if you can see the way the roof slants. But I have to watch my head, so I keep going like this, and my camera angles are changing. And then we got chips, bananas, and so we scored this, which is a collapsible bag, which we figured would be really helpful for us, because in between units, we always end up having like extra groceries, and we only came with so much space in our bag. So when we have all these extra groceries, we don't really have anyone where to put them. So we saw that, and that was like less than $1 for that bag.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our lot here, and it was $29 total for all that. And I honestly think that's a really good deal. And I think that just like this meat and these items here, like this breaded chicken, and these are 200 grams each. So that's 800 grams of pre-seasoned chicken that you preheat. Like that alone would be close to like $20 in the United States. So that, with all of this and the waters, we're $29, and I think that's a hell of a deal. So yeah, that's about all we have for the day. So if you're curious, we'll still have like 60 days left here or something, maybe a little less, like 50
just
days.
Under, yeah.
So stay tuned to our channel. I'm gonna also make a video of a walkthrough of this Airbnb listing and what we think of it. So yeah, also if you're curious, stay tuned and check that out. But stay safe and stay sane out there.